Let's be real. The word finance can sound, well, pretty intimidating, right? But when you get right down to it, it's really just about how we manage our money. In this explainer, we're going to break it all down, starting right where it hits home the hardest, your own wallet. You know that feeling. You put in the hours, you see that nice big number on your pay stub, and you start making plans. But then you look at your actual bank account, and the story, it's a little different. So frustrating, isn't it? That huge gap between what you earned and what you actually get to keep. That's exactly where our journey into the world of finance begins. So let's pull back the curtain on those invisible forces that take a slice of the pie before you even get a chance to see it. So what are these invisible forces? Well, surprise, surprise, they're mostly taxes. And look, nobody loves paying them, but they're often called the cost of living in a society. They're what pay for stuff like roads, schools, all those public services we rely on. So let's break down where that missing chunk of your paycheck actually goes. You've got your federal and state taxes, those are for general government stuff. Then there's Social Security, which is basically a retirement savings plan that you're required to pay into. And finally, Medicare, which is a health insurance program mostly for older folks. Okay, so you've got your take-home pay. Now let's zoom out a little and look at the systems that manage our money day to day. We're talking about banks, the powerful idea of interest, and that mysterious three-digit number called your credit score. Most of us probably picture a bank like something out of a movie, a giant, secure vault, maybe even a dragon guarding it. But the reality is way more dynamic. A bank is more like a financial matchmaker. The second you deposit your money, it's not just sitting there. The bank is actively trying to lend that money out to someone else. And the official name for this whole system is fractional reserve banking. See, banks operate on the assumption that we're not all going to show up and demand all of our cash at the exact same time. So they only need to keep a small fraction of deposits on hand, and they can lend out the rest to earn interest. That's their business model. And that brings us to interest. This is a big one. It is a true double-edged sword. When you're in debt, interest can feel like your worst enemy, just this slow, constant burn that can get out of control. But, and this is a big but, when you're saving or investing, it becomes your best employee, working for you 24/7 without ever taking a day off. This quote just perfectly captures the danger of interest working against you. You swipe your credit card for a burrito, but if you don't pay that balance off, the interest starts piling up, and then you're paying interest on the interest. That is compounding working in the absolute worst way possible. So what is compound interest officially? Well, here's the definition. It's simply interest on interest. It's this silent, powerful engine that can either build you incredible wealth over time or dig you into a hole of debt. Understanding how it works is absolutely crucial. Okay, let's talk about your credit score. This is the number that basically follows you around your whole financial life. And you can't just ignore it. Lenders use this score to figure out if you're a good risk for a loan, whether it's for a car, a house, or even just a new credit card. So how is this magical number even calculated? It's actually not that mysterious. Payment history is the big one. I mean, it's huge. Do you pay your bills on time? That's what lenders care about most. But they also look at things like how much of your available credit you're using, how old your accounts are, and a few other factors. The scores go from 300 up to 850, and the higher your score, the better the deals you're going to get. All right, let's zoom out even further now, beyond our personal finances. There are these huge economic forces that affect all of us, kind of like the financial weather. We're talking about inflation and recessions. Oh, you've definitely felt this one. Inflation is that sneaky process where your money just buys less stuff over time. That $5 bill in your wallet is still a $5 bill, but what it can actually get you shrinks. And that's exactly why stashing cash on your mattress is a really bad long-term plan. Now, you might be thinking all inflation is bad, but a little bit is actually considered pretty normal, even healthy for an economy. Most governments and central banks aim for around 2% a year. It's predictable, and it gently encourages people to spend and invest their money instead of just hoarding it. The real trouble starts when inflation gets too high, too fast. So what happens when the whole economy slows down? I love this analogy. Think of the economy as a big party. The boom is when times are great. Everyone's spending, businesses are growing, the music is loud. But eventually the party has to wind down. That's the bust, and it can lead to a recession. That's when the party's over, jobs are lost, and things get tough. These cycles, as painful as they can be, are just a natural part of how economies work. Okay, So, knowing all of this, how do you actually get in the game and make this system work for you instead of against you? This is where we talk about putting your money to work through investing and also understanding how businesses do the same thing on a massive scale. Investing is your number one weapon against inflation, period. Instead of letting your cash slowly lose value, you put it into assets like stocks or real estate that have the potential to grow faster than prices are rising. It's a huge mental shift from trading your limited time for money to trading your money for more money. And these ideas are not new, not at all. Finance has been a part of human civilization for literally thousands of years. The very first recorded bond was etched on a stone tablet over 4,000 years ago as a promise to repay a loan of grain. It just goes to show you that borrowing, lending, and investing are fundamental to how we operate. And this is where all those personal finance concepts we talked about get scaled up, big time. Corporate finance is basically a business doing the same things you do, budgeting, borrowing, investing, but they're doing it with millions or even billions of dollars. It's the engine room that dictates how a giant company like Apple or Tesla decides to use its money to grow and innovate. This brings us to our final and maybe most important section, because when you strip away all the jargon and the complex systems, finance really boils down to two fundamental things: understanding the idea of value and appreciating the incredible power of time. Value is such a weird, fascinating concept, isn't it? It's not always logical. It's really about our shared beliefs as a society. It's why we all just kind of agree that a shiny yellow rock is incredibly valuable, or that a luxury brand name is worth paying a massive premium for. People who really understand how to create and capture this perceived value are often the ones who succeed financially. And the second key ingredient here is time. This quote says it all. When you combine the magic of compound interest with a long stretch of time, the results can be absolutely mind-boggling. Most wealthy people didn't just stumble into it overnight. They invested consistently over decades and simply let time do the heavy lifting for them. And that really brings us to the final thought here: money. At the end of the day, it's just a tool. But your time, that's the one asset you can never, ever get more of. So thinking about everything we've covered, the real question isn't just about what you're doing with your money. It's about how you're investing your most precious resource of all,